Hi, my name is Asmisha. I'm a sound healer, pranic healer, and asana and meditation guide. I wanted to share a recap of my 10-day water fast that I just completed today. For those of you who have seen my last video on fasting, know that I completed a water fast this past January. My intention had been to do a 7-day fast, however, it ended up being 5 days because I just was not feeling great and felt like I had to end the fast. And prior to that, I'd been having a lot of trouble fasting, whether it was just one day or a couple of days, which is something that I have been doing regularly for quite a while. And I came to the realization that more than anything, this was an energetic issue and I really needed to focus on healing myself. And so that's what I've been doing the past 7 months. I decided I wasn't going to attempt another water fast until I felt like I was ready to. So for these past 7 months, I have been doing pranic healing on myself, leading sound baths, and every time you lead a sound bath, you're also healing yourself. I've gone to a lot of kind of intense spiritual and energetic events this year. I went to a few different Arhatic yoga retreats, which is the spiritual community I'm part of. I also went to see Sadhguru, for those of you who know who that is, for the 4th of July weekend. And coming back from the 4th of July weekend, I finally felt ready to do a long fast, and so I decided to do a 10-day water fast. And so I wanted to share a couple of things about my experience. The first was, before I began the fast, I decided on a couple of things. In Arhatic yoga, we have a spiritual practice that takes about 1.5 to 2 hours a day, and it's pretty long. And I've previously felt that it was really taxing to both do this practice and water fast at the same time. And so I decided I'm not going to do this practice during this time. I'm going to really just focus on the water fasting and not spread myself too thin. I did decide I would continue to do some pranic healing on myself. However, I did not keep up with the schedule I had prior to the fast, so I got a little lax. And on days where I didn't feel like I had the energy or didn't want to do it, I decided not to. I did do a couple of intense healing meditations during the water fast, but I felt up to it and I made sure not to push myself at all throughout the fast. This time I decided to do water only. I don't know why, but just something told me don't have anything else. If you've seen a couple of my previous fasting videos, you know that typically during a water fast, I will still have black tea, coffee, and herbal tea as well. And I don't know why, but something just told me have just water. And so this time around, that's what I did. I do like drinking water, so that's not an issue. I did miss having the flavor of those different things. It did get really boring to have water day in and day out for so many days. But I think it was also a different experience because there was no external stimulation of any kind from any flavor. So although it was boring, I felt it was really easy to stick with. I also noticed that in deep ketosis, normally I get a really metallic taste in my mouth, and this time it was actually a little sweeter. And I'm wondering if it's because I didn't have anything else besides water. I also wanted to note that for this fast, I am currently working from home, so I didn't have to commute. And work is not very stressful right now, and so I knew it was something I would be able to complete. I have previously done 7 and 10-day water fasts while going into the office, but that was pre-COVID when I was really in the swing of things in terms of commuting, and so I think my body was just able to handle it. Now I haven't been commuting regularly, and I think because of that, my body's in a different place. You do want to make sure that you don't have a lot of stress when you're doing a water fast because you're already putting a lot of physical stress on your body. I think if you have mental or emotional stress, it's going to push your hormones out of whack and it might make it really hard to stick with it. Days 1 through 5 were relatively easy for me. I was able to breeze through them. I had a good amount of energy, so I was either walking or doing the elliptical and doing some asana practice to get my body moving. I wasn't trying to do a rigorous practice, but really just make sure I'm folding, being flexible, and moving my body around to maintain that flexibility. On day 6, I went on a walk around the neighborhood with my husband. This is a relatively easy walk, and I was walking pretty slow. It honestly felt like I was walking through molasses. And so, again, I was going really slow. It's a really easy walk, and yet I noticed that my heart rate was going up quite a few times. I had to take a couple of breaks. I felt lightheaded. And after that, I decided to take it easy and reduce my physical activity based on the amount of physical energy I had kind of at that point moving forward as I was going deeper into my fast. Days 6 through 10, I definitely was a lot weaker than I had been the first few days. So like I said, I didn't move around much even in the apartment. I would sometimes get lightheaded if I got up too quickly. And I noticed even if I was standing for a while, my heart rate would go up. And so I think this is, part and parcel of a fast, but just things to be aware of if you are planning to do a long fast. One of the things that was different between this fast and the 14-day water fast I done last year is last year I was really, really tired during my fast and I ended up having to take a lot of naps. This time that wasn't the case. Like, I was alert, I was able to work with no problem. The last few days of my fast, I did have trouble sleeping, and this is something that's happened to me before when I do long water fasts. I think it has to do with part of the healing process, the fact that your body is releasing adrenaline and other things as it's healing itself. And so I was pretty tired and cranky a couple of the last few days. Finally breaking my fast. So I broke my fast today. I had some iced chai and some fruit. It's really important that when you are breaking a fast, you are very gentle with your body and you wake your system up slowly. You haven't been digesting anything for 10 days. You need to reintroduce food, get your body used to digestion. You also want to think about all that microflora in the gut and setting that up. So my plan for the next few days is to eat mostly raw and be really gentle with my system before I start introducing more complex foods. And so that was the video. Please let me know your questions in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer them. And as a reminder, I'm not a medical professional. This is just my experience. I'm going to link some resources. First sip of any flavor in 10 days.